So thank you. We are going to introduce the next speaker, which in this time is Indrani Bhattacharya. Professor. Okay. She is a professor of museology of the University of Calcutta. Okay. So we introduced her at the beginning of this session, so I think it's time to speak for she who speaks. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Today, my topic of discussion is biocultural heritage of Sundarbans, a tale of transnational coastal and island museology. Actually, India shares its coastal boundaries with two neighboring countries, that is Bangladesh and Myanmar. Next slide, please. And it is in the next slide. Yes. Um, it is in the eastern coast of India, and people of these countries, they more or less experience same type of climatic condition and also the same type of food habit, because this type of food is such as different types of rice, fishes, different types of vegetables, fruits, more or less similar in this area. And both they catch the fishes from the freshwater and marine and use as the rice and fish as a staple food. Sometimes in some South Asian countries also they eat sticky rice. Uh, and among this, Sundarban is the largest delta of the world, and in India, it occupies only 40% of the total land. It was at approximately 10,277 square kilometer area, and the largest part of it is in the within the periphery of Bangladesh. Next slide, please. But uh, the area of Sundarban in India is especially in the southern part of the West Bengal state, and it consists of large number of islands, which is mainly separated by creeks, streams, and other types of canals, etc. There is also patches of mangrove forest, which is separated by streams, creeks, etc. And also, here we can find the scattered settlement of people and all types of migrants we can see here, uh, and from all the sections of the Indian society, they also present here. And when we study the main demographic condition of the Sundarban, we know that there are Muslim, Hindus, and from the indigenous people also, like Shantals, Mundas, Ho, etc. And so here we can also witness a heterogeneous culture and the blend of different cultural units. So culture, they actually depends one culture on another, and ultimately the cultural mix here. Next slide, please. From the geographical and from the geological point of view, and also it is a very strategic position it occupies, and it also faces some ecological challenges also. First, one of the first challenge is depleting mangrove forest. Why? Because most of the area which is in the earlier forested area, it was occupied by the agricultural field, and um, uh, for the foundation of different types of settlement by human beings. So the buffer area have been sunken, and just so depleting of the mangrove forest, and so this the iconic wildlife fauna, that is Royal Bengal tiger, they also lose their habitat, their food, etc. In the further discussion, we can discuss this. And the rising sea levels that is due to the global warming. It is a burning problem everywhere, but Sundarban, this coastal island, it faces several types of difficulties due to this global warming. And erratic rainfall is another area of concern. And so different types of challenges before the people, and also not only for the people, for the wildlife, and also from the faunas, which is a vast variety of faunas which are present here. And some of them become extremely rare, etc. And last 15 years, several cyclones with their devastating effects, they hit this place. Not only this portion of India, it also have their devastating effects on some parts of the coastal area of Bangladesh. And due to this, some mainly due to the rising sea level, some portion of the island becomes submerged. And also due to this several cyclones during the last 15 years, mainly the Amphan, Ayla, Foni, etc., etc., most of the people in this area who was residing in this part of our state, they just lose everything, not only their homes, but also everything from their life, and they had to rebuild everything for to live for their sustenance. And next slide, please. And on 26th May, this 2024, we also experience that Reman, it shows its effect on this area. And from this presentation, at the bottom portion of the picture, we can see that the uppermost portion, there is the freshwater land, and also the freshwater swamps, that is marshy land, and also upland forest is there. And here one can find the transitional forest, and the middle portion is occupied by the mangroves. And the lower portion is occupied by is mainly the seawater, and most of the portion is covered with seawater. And next slide, please. And from these photographs, we can also see that the upper land is occupied by the subtidal village, and it is mainly called as subtidal zone. And here also we can find the wildlife conservation zone also. And the bottom portion is occupied by seawater, and between these two, there lies the intertidal village also. But during the high tide, especially the spring tide, or during the storms, or during the cyclones, they face most difficult position, the people who are inhabiting in the intertidal villages, and also some portion of the subtidal villages also. And Sundarban is named after Sundari, one of the member of mangrove trees, and vegetation here is mainly moist tropical. And though the rainfall is very erratic, but most of the time in rainy season they experience higher level of rainfall also. And Sundarban is the home of about 453 faunal species, varieties of species, but due to the destruction of their habitat, and mainly due to the shortage in the supply of their foods, some of the species become rare or extinct from this region, though many biological, many geological, many geographical research have already been done on it. But from the point of view of museological research, the number is very limited also. Next slide, please. And Wildlife, I have already mentioned that both varieties of faunas and floras are there, different types of snakes, birds, and one important features is the estuarine crocodile and also dolphins. Etc. is a very uh, important fauna here. It's not only Royal Bengal tiger. Next slide, please. And here is also the same picture of Royal Bengal tiger and also the some parts of the Sundarban. Next slide, please. It is also, you can notice here, some of the glimpses of the idea about the wildlife here. And next, that is Shundari, that is Heritilia, famous member of the Starculiaceae family. And vegetation of this area mainly most tropical cereal forest and the beach forest also, because it is the beach area, there is shore also. And Champion described this fauna elaborately in 1936. Next slide. And life in the Sundarban villages or human settlement are very colorful. Already I have mentioned that there are different people from the different religion and from the different culture. They are also come here and started to live here from the very earlier time. And Bono Bibi, the most important, Bono Bibi and Dokhin Rai. Dokhin Rai is the god of tiger. And Bono Bibi is worshipped by both Hindu and Muslim. So there is no separation between the Hindu and Muslim. So Dokhinda also tiger god of these areas in our Mongol Kabus, very earlier Kabya, we already marked as important phase of literary imagination in Bengali. There we also notice the presence of Sundarban and associated different types of cultural work, cultural functions, etc. And Monusha or god snake is also important deity in this area. Not only Monusha, Shoshti Puja, Panchanan Puja, Dhanantari, etc. are also very famous in the and popular also in this area. And main art and craft, mainly cottage industry. Some of the cottage industries are very prevalent in this area. Clay, dolls, toys, etc. And Potochitro, that is scroll painting, and fishing net, fishing equipment, etc. making are the part and parcel of this area. And every year, 100, next slide please. Yes, this is the image of Bono Bibi, and folk singers also perform on the themes of Bono Bibi, mainly annually, and fairs are also held. And all the communities of people are present in these pujas or worshipping. Next slide, please. It is Gangasagar Mela. Around Kopil Muni Ashram, the most important point of the Sagar, the largest island. And here, every year, hundreds of pilgrims congregate in this island. It is the largest island for holy bathing during Makar Sankranti. On the other hand, it is mainly 14th of January every year. And millions of people from abroad and from the different remote corners of India congregate here for holy bathing. Next slide, please. But the reclaimers of Sundarban, that is Islamic leaders, mainly first they occupy the Sutra title forest, then come the East India Company and British administrated, followed by some Englishmen who also, such as in the last slide, we will discuss about the Hamilton, etc. the intertidal forest and fresh water occupied by them. And after the independence of India, intertidal forest and brine swamps are also occupied by the different communities and also by the migrants from the different states of India, from the Bangladesh and others. Because during that time, the partition of India also we observed that. And the stakeholders of this area is mainly district forest administrated and the zamindars, jodhars, big farmers, contractual farmers, farm laborers, etc. But main livelihood are as woodcutters, as fishermen, or honey collectors. Next slide, please. We also notice their assimilation of cultures and practices and mutual inspiration. Collectively, they are called as the forest workers because here not only the woodcutters, woodcutters and the honey collectors, they are not only the workers, but different. Tourism is a flooding industry here. So tourism brings some scope of employment here. And to the indigenous people also, especially for the women. And different aspects of the scenic beauty also attract our tourists. And nowadays, eco-tourism is very popular on the part of the tourists also, and on the other part on the government of India from the private agencies also. And bird watching, because varieties of birds can be seen here. Next slide, please. Here's a map of the ecotourism industries, some of the cottage which is used by this tourism for and whole day tour or 2 or 3 day tour or 1 night tour. Thank you. And next slide. But the main problem are some social factors for the local communities. That is the high rate of poverty. And that is the main reason. And for that, they have to migrate to the different parts of the, not only West Bengal, to the different parts of the India, Mumbai or to Delhi also. Illegal immigration, because most of the neighboring countries is very nearby, and it is just they have to cross the canals or creeks, etc. So it is very common that this type of immigration and prevalence of child marriage due to the lack of education, due to the lack of poverty, prevalence of child marriage. Most of the child, mainly girl child, they married at the age of 10 or 12. Adolescence pregnancy is also a social problem, social factors, and less educational economic opportunity. Because though there are some types of livelihood which is almost the part and parcel of the forest community, but there are also very less scope for the employment and poaching. Yes, we know that there are laws, regulation, act, etc. But still now, poaching is a very burning problem here. And encroachment of forest land so that the portion of the forest land become decreased for livelihood, and indiscriminate fishing and climate refugees also. In the later part of this presenter, you can see the Ghoramala or Moushumi Island. Every year, some portion of this island becomes submerged under the sea, and some of the people, they become climate refugee, and perhaps they are the first climate refugee in India also. Next slide. And here I should mention that most important fact that one Scottish businessman, Daniel Hamilton, he bought a big land here and tried to establish an estate here for the in Goshaba within Sundarban, where he experimented with various programs of rural and social upliftment of the local people. In 1903, he bought the land of about 9,000 square acres in Goshaba. He introduced corporate um, uh, cooperative system also, and also model paddy farm, Jamili rice mill, and also Goshaba Central Cooperative Bank, etc. And Rabindranath Tagore also visited this Goshaba in the year 1932. Mahatma Gandhi also have very good relation, and some took some experience from the experience of Hamilton, sir. Uh, so mainly for the development and enactment of the system in India. And next slide.
Okay.
And now,
Thank you so much. I'm sorry to advise, but you have run out of time. I apologize about this, but we also have other speakers, so I appreciate your patience, but unfortunately we're out of time. We
Oh,
can,
no,
of
no,
course,
thank you.
no problem. I can make your slides available to everyone, but thank you so much. Thank you.